Welcome to another episode of the Clarity Digital Podcast. My name is Al Safadi, CEO of Clarity Digital and host of the Clarity Digital Pod. Today, I'm joined by Sean Stone, founder of Stone's Goods, an Amazon ads agency that takes a truly profit-first approach to managing campaigns. We get into the real challenges and opportunities of Amazon advertising, why it's so easy to waste money if you're not careful, and what makes Amazon different from platforms like Google or Meta. Sean also breaks down his pair framework promotions, advertising, inventory, and rankability, which is how his team drives sustainable results for brands selling on Amazon. If you're in e-commerce or even just exploring what it means to scale profitably on Amazon, this is one you'll want to pay close attention to. Let's get into it. What's up, Sean? How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for making the time joining our podcast here at Clarity Digital. Why don't you introduce yourself for our audience, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Hey, my name's Sean Stone. I'm the founder of Stone's Goods. We're a best-in-class Amazon ads agency that really takes a profit-first approach to managing your business.
Cool. Tell me, what is an Amazon ads agency? What does an Amazon ad agency do?
I think the main thing is when you manage or when you sell products on Amazon, one of the main ways that you get found is through sponsored advertising. Now, most Amazon shoppers don't really realize that what they're clicking on are ads, but those little things that say sponsored underneath them, those are actually ads. And a little bit of backstory about me. Back in 2017, I got into selling on products on Amazon, and pretty quickly I realized, okay, these advertising things, like this is actually a really big opportunity for a lot of people. But I felt like it was like a under-optimized tool back then. And then as I've gotten deeper and deeper into the Amazon game, I started to realize, oh wow, okay, like these Amazon ads, they're like a really big opportunity. But one of the biggest problems is actually Amazon makes it super easy to run an Amazon ad and super hard to run an Amazon ad profitably. And so we help you make them run profitably. And over the years, it's gotten harder and harder. They've added more and more features. They've added a lot more confusion to the marketplace. And the main thing that Amazon ads agencies do is we just help you find opportunities to spend money in a way that actually supports your business goals. So I think that's maybe the best way that I can put it.
No, that was a great answer. And I have two things that I want that you said that kind of triggered. I have used Amazon plenty of time for my own stuff, and I was trying to sell things or helping relatives or whatever. And I noticed that the ads were one way to use it to tweak our SEO on Amazon, but it wasn't profitable. So I'm glad you brought it up. The ROAS, everything, it just sucked. And being a Google Ads guy, and we have a lot more tools at our disposal. All the Google's taking those, slowly taking those away, but that we can optimize the campaign to have a better ROI. But I noticed that Amazon ads, at least when I was using it a few years ago, that wasn't the case. So having said that, let's just skip to the good stuff. What do you do to improve your Amazon ad strategy to be profitable?
Yeah. You said something interesting, which is you can use Amazon ads to improve your SEO. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's not really the same in Google. You can't really
No, you cannot
spend
do
your
that
way
in
to the
Google.
top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I that's what I thought. I just didn't want to talk out of turn. But
No,
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. On Amazon, one plus one kind of equals three when it comes to advertising plus organic. And something that people in the Google space or any other media space really pay attention to is this thing called the media efficiency ratio, which is your ad spend divided by your total sales, if you're looking at it from like an e-commerce perspective. And the main thing that really jumped out at me is, okay, media efficiency ratio in the Amazon game, they call it tacos, total ACoS, or total advertising cost of sales. If you just paid attention to that metric and did things that tried to influence that metric, immediately you would get a better outcome. One other thing I should clarify, media efficiency ratio is total sales divided by spend. Tacos is just that flipped. So it's total ad spend, or yeah, ad spend divided by total sales. So they're
Wow.
just the same metric flipped. The Amazon ecosystem has just kind of evolved to manage to different similar metrics. But okay, so now that we've gone through that, how do we talk or what do we need to do to make things more profitable? There are a bunch of different opportunities. The first thing you could do is spend more money on the keywords where you are already close to the top of the page to see if you can influence Amazon to get you to the top of the page. Other things you can do that are a little bit more generic is spend less money on keywords that you're already at the top of the page on and just see if you can keep that placement with maybe only 20 clicks a day from advertising instead of 200. You
Yeah.
can do things like that to really improve your profitability. That's one area. Another area that people don't really think about is there's so much waste in Amazon ad spend because what you're trying to do is get a lot of clicks and hopefully get a high percentage of conversion, especially when you're coming from other ad platforms. Amazon's conversion rates seem amazing because a 10% conversion rate is just average on Amazon. So the main opportunities we're really looking at here are what keywords can we really perform on and get a lot of output back from? Now, the other things you can do that are a little bit less obvious is you can also focus on highly profitable advertising. So setting up campaigns that, you know, only make sales on 60-cent cost per clicks and stuff like that. It's a little bit harder to set up, but it is pretty effective once you
Yeah.
do it. So those are the different kinds of things you can do to really maximize your profitability on Amazon. Yeah. What do you think?
No, it's great. And the Amazon model is so much better than Google's because they're double dipping there. They're charging you ad dollar and they're also taking away percentage you sell. So it's just that's why Amazon is Amazon. And I think the reason one thing I want to add to this is that Amazon didn't start as a being what it is today. I was studying computer science back in school. I actually had a project on Amazon for a class that we were taking. I think it was like I forget which class it was. It was like something about business and computer science. And I studied Amazon, and at the time they were selling books and they were beginning to sell other stuff. It just started as an e-commerce website, and I used to buy my school books there, and then I would go, I can sell there as well. And then demand for having a platform where you can buy and sell things, but not like eBay style, something more premium. And then Amazon, one thing I do like about Jeff Bezos is that he realized that customer experience is very important. It's not just about finding the best price. Amazon wasn't cheapest all the time, but include not just the website user experience, but the entire end-to-end customer experience. So they really mastered the art of e-commerce, and then the whole advertising thing was something that they realized they had to do to make more money, and that's why marketers like me take it when you look at Amazon ads with a grain of salt. Is this just another scheme or is there actually science to it? So I'm glad that you brought this up that no, there's actually some science to this now. Maybe not at the beginning when they first launched it, but not there's a little bit of science to their advertising. So what about things like keyword research? If I want to do keyword research for Google, I can go to SEMrush, Ahrefs, even Google Keyword Planner. Where do you go when you want to do that type of research for Amazon ads or even Amazon SEO?
So I'll get to the Amazon tools thing in a second, but I
Okay,
actually
sure.
wanted to comment on what you just said.
Please.
So Amazon, if you look at their statements, and again, it's been a while since I've done this, but it's generally true that for the most part, they either break even or only make a little bit of profit or a little bit of loss on their retail operations of Amazon.com. But their highest margin division of Amazon is AWS. But one of their other high margin, high growth portions of their business is Amazon advertising. Because what they
No.
realized is once Amazon becomes a default product search engine, they can
Hmm.
start charging people to advertise on it. And so if you look at spend on ad platforms year over year, Amazon has really been catching up to Google and Meta. And so over time, it's just been this thing that just keeps climbing. And so that's one of the main things. Like, I think I saw a graph in 2019, and I was like, oh, wow, Amazon is actually 7% of ad spend on the internet now. And I think it's
Wow.
just been climbing up over and over since then. So that was really that was the thing that made me think, okay, I really need to double down on this advertising thing because
Yeah.
clearly it's going to keep being a bigger and bigger part of the internet ecosystem. Yeah.
No, this is, I'm glad you actually, I didn't know that I had heard something, but I didn't know if it was actually factual that Amazon, I knew that we were making money off the ads. I just didn't know that much. And I was speaking at another e-commerce event in San Diego. We talked about it. You missed out, by the way. It was a few weeks ago. I was actually talking about the impact of AI and search and SEO. And I had to show some data. The data that I showed was like, there's no customer loyalty to Google. The customers will go wherever they think they need to find an answer. And that was a case I was trying to build. And I showcased Amazon having more search when it comes to products than Google. And most people when I was saying it, they were like, they agree with me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't go to Google if I know Amazon has a product. Sometimes I start my research on Amazon. So it's become a product search engine. And I think that all makes sense. Now that you said that they're making so much money off advertising, I'm like, oh wow, that actually makes sense that they have really pivoted to becoming a search engine.
Yeah.
And marketers and business leaders should focus on Amazon on the
Mhm.
e-commerce space.
You want to hear something even crazier? The search market is fragmenting right now.
Yes.
So my wife and I are going on a vacation soon. She
Mhm.
didn't start her research on Google. Do you want to know where she started her research?
Perplexity, I don't know.
TikTok.
TikTok, yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok
How,
shop, yeah.
no, not
Yeah.
even, no, but she's
Yeah.
literally
TikTok,
researching
the actual TikTok.
destinations on TikTok.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Is your wife Gen
So,
Z?
yeah, no,
I
she's a
don't need to
younger
know her age.
millennial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Younger
she's a younger
millennial.
millennial. Yeah.
Borderline, yeah.
But anyways, so I do want to get back to your question, but I think just the changing landscape right now is super interesting
Mhm.
because there are a bunch of different trends all emerging. AI is one trend, but that's not
Yes.
the only trend.
It's not only
People
trend,
also
yeah.
really like short form video. That's having a
Hmm.
positive or a changing impact, maybe not a positive or negative. It's a changing impact on the way that people search for things. Amazon ends up being a place that people really start their searches for a lot of products. But then also TikTok is a place that a lot of people search for products before they get into the actual bottom of funnel searching overall.
Yeah.
So I think, and then obviously AI. So there's all these different places that searching
Hmm.
is now starting that wasn't the case 2 years ago, 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
sure.
Yeah.
No,
So,
yeah, I bought stuff on TikTok and the TikTok shop is it's really powerful. And I did start my research elsewhere, but I also continued it on TikTok. So it wasn't,
yeah.
I just didn't go TikTok to buy because so now that you're telling me, yeah, I did some research on TikTok as well. And I'm a pretty old Gen Xer. I'm 49 years old. Yeah. So I'm glad you brought it up. Anyhow, let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay. So when it comes to Amazon, the main thing that, and you really hit it on the head, is like keywords in the name of the game. It's a search-based platform. Search-based advertising is still the highest converting form of advertising on the internet. Video ads don't hold a candle to it, and everything else, like interruption-based ads, still not there. So, keyword-based ads, that's what Amazon is. There are other things you can do, but it's really the highest converting stuff is all search intent based. So your point is you need to research which keywords people are searching. And first of all, great point. Now there are three places that our agency goes. I'll give a couple of honorable mentions to tools we don't really use, but the three places we use. First one is Amazon's data itself. They started sharing something called the Search Query Performance Report, and it gives you a lot of keyword-based data and a lot of search-based data about products that are related to anything that's already in your Amazon account. So you can't really go and do proactive research there about products you're thinking about launching, unless you're thinking about launching a product that's very similar to your existing catalog. But if you're thinking to get into a new niche, then the search query performance report is not a good fit for you. But if you're looking to either expand or improve your performance on Amazon already, search query performance report from Amazon is it's first party data. It's Amazon data. So that's
Sure.
really the first place we start.
And how long does it take for you to acquire that data?
So you need to have something called Amazon Brand Analytic, or no, you need to have something called Amazon Brand Registry.
Yeah.
All that really is you would need to prove to Amazon that you either have a trademark for your brand or you're in the process of getting a trademark.
Got it.
And there are some nuances to that step. If you
But if
have the
you're
trademark,
reselling a product, do you have access to that data?
no, but
Okay.
nobody, that reselling products is not necessarily something I would really recommend anymore.
It's a
You know,
thing
it
of a
was
past now, I know. Yeah.
there will be somebody in the comments like, I make $100 million a year reselling on Amazon. Have a great time doing that. It's
Right.
it's not something that I personally would do. It's not a game that I think is worth playing. No offense to anyone who does that game. And I also would be a terrible garbage man. But like I don't have
I
any
get it.
ill will towards them. It's just not something I think is a good use of my time. That is something that the search query performance, it's only for a company that has its own products. And
Gotcha.
again, that's really, we only work with companies that have their own products. It's not really a good fit if you're just trying to resell things. So yeah, that's the first place we go. The next place we go, there are two that I'm going to mention at the same time because we use them both interchangeably. They're technically competitors, but they have different features that we really like. So if you could only get one Amazon research tool, you should definitely go with Helium 10. It's a tool that basically it set the standard for keyword tracking, keyword research, reverse looking up your competitors, and like everything to do with understanding what the market wants on Amazon.
I'm actually looking at the
Um,
website right now. It looks great. Yeah. I hadn't heard of this before, so
they're good, they're expensive, they have a bunch of features that they put into their higher price plans that look all right, but I'm just not willing to pay them that
yeah.
much money,
Yeah.
especially because like their pricing jumps from 100 a month to 250 a month or something.
Yeah.
It just it doesn't strike me as worth the money anymore now that
Mhm.
Amazon search query performance is available.
Yeah.
There's that. But then there's another tool that we use that's a lot cheaper, but it doesn't have every feature that Helium 10 has, but it's got some other really handy features that we love a lot. And so that tool is called Datarova, Datarova. And I want to be clear, I have no affiliation with these companies other than
Yeah.
I use their products every day. So I'm like, there's no affiliate
Hmm.
link, there's no back end. I'm just talking about products that I genuinely use. And I think if someone's trying to level up their SEO game, this is a really,
Yeah.
these are good tools to use.
Yeah. It's a little bit
Yeah.
cheaper too. Not a lot, but a little bit. Yeah.
Their entry price point is, I may think maybe 39 versus
Yeah.
100. That
Hmm.
you could get a taste of what they have to offer. And if you like it, it'll definitely do a lot of what you need.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So those are the ones that we use every day.
Yeah.
So search query performance, Helium 10, Datarova. Then if those don't work for you or you're trying to find like a different price point, there's also something called Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is, I think, also they're mid-tier priced, but I think they're closer to Helium 10 than they are to Datarova. So that's maybe another option for you if you're looking for feature parity. And then the other one is, wow, had it on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Brandon Young's tool, Seller. Wow, I'm not sure if I can remember it, but there's the seller.tools is one, Seller Rise is another one, and then Data Dive.
Data type.
Sorry, Data Dive. So those are
Hmm.
three that we don't use or we only use sparingly, but they're also quite good. And they all have similar features to the ones I just talked about. They've got some unique features on each of them that you could use. But something we found a while ago is we actually got frustrated with every tool provider. And so we just started making our own tools. That's been so rewarding because
Yeah.
the tools are purpose built to what we're trying to do. And if we want to rank a product, we've got a very specific methodology. And so what we'll end up doing is we built a dashboard that really just we get all those key data points in one place and then we track all of them day over day and say, did the change we make lead to the result we want? And so just in general, those are the different tools that we use. And yeah, I'll talk about tools for hours because it's exciting.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
jumped the guns, but let's talk about your methodology. That is that the pair network
Yeah, the pair method.
framework.
We've got
Sorry,
yeah,
framework.
our
Yeah.
pair framework, pair
Yeah. Yeah.
method.
Method. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the way that we manage Amazon accounts. So we don't even think about so I actually am trying to stop myself from saying Amazon advertising agency and more of an Amazon agency
Oh, that's
because
great.
we do more than just manage your ads. Because when it comes to selling on Amazon, ads are just one part of the entire system, but each piece of that system impacts each other. And so basically, we've been running this methodology for years. And then about 6 months ago, I gave it a name and I shared it with my employees, and I was all excited. And they were like, "Great, Sean. Congratulations on giving a name to something we've been doing for a really long time." So, just in general, this is the pair methodology or the pair framework. And all it is promotions, advertising, inventory, and then rankability. And so we can go through that, or we can talk about it at a high level. I want to make sure that I don't go too deep in the weeds if your
What about somewhere
audience.
in between? Not too deep or not too high level.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll go through the acronym
sure, please.
and it's pretty simple. So P, promotions. All that is, are you running deals? Are you running coupons? What are you doing to incentivize people to click and purchase?
And just
And
promotions are not ads, right? People need to know that. Running an ad doesn't mean that you're running a promotion.
Yeah, so promotions, and you can also in this category choose intentionally not to run promotions, but we want you to think about your promotional strategy and purposely choose or purposely not choose to run Amazon ads. Or sorry, purposely choose or not choose to run Amazon promotions. So coupons, Prime exclusive discounts, lightning deals, best deals, all that kind of stuff. It's an often neglected and often huge profit lever for a lot of companies that we work with. Because what people, when people think about promotions, they only think about the downside. Oh, I have to give away 15% of my sale price. But what they don't think about on the other side is this is going to enhance my conversion rate more than the downside suggests. Often you run a promotion, and sometimes instead of lowering your conversion rate by or lowering your price point by 15% and your conversion rate staying the same, your conversion rate jumps up quite a bit
Mhm.
and you get more organic sales because people
All
searching,
connected.
yeah, it's all connected. So that's the P in promotions. A is Amazon advertising. So this is the thing we've been doing since 2017. Just in general, really focused on spending money on ads, focusing on the keywords that make the most sense, cutting waste wherever we see it, that kind of stuff, like the basics. Then I stands for inventory. So this is something that in the past really frustrated me about other, when I worked with companies and didn't necessarily see the results we wanted. A lot of the time it was because they weren't factoring their inventory into their promotions and advertising decisions. And something we've done is we take an inventory first approach and say, what kinds of, or based on our inventory, what can we do? Do we have enough inventory to run a 7-day deal on this product? And then afterwards, sustain that uplift in both sales and organic keyword ranking. Because if we can't, then we should cancel the deal and not do it because it's going to have too negative an impact on the business. You don't want to spend money to go out of stock faster. That's the key part of the I in pair. Let's not spend money to go out of stock faster. Let's also not hold inventory or let's also make sure we're advertising inventory if we have a lot of it, because there could be products that are just sitting there collecting storage fees, long-term storage fees. A lot of these things that people in the Amazon community complain about because Amazon keeps changing the game, raising the fees, doing all
Mhm.
kinds of different stuff. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate things that Amazon's been doing with their fees and storage. It makes sense. They've got to protect their business, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then the last one is rankability. Now, I don't think that's a real word, but it's a word that we use at the agency all the time because we are focused on looking at each product in a company's portfolio and deciding, can this product rank in the top 5 for any of its major keywords? Yes or no? And so if the answer is yes, we would consider it rankable. And if the answer is no, we would consider it incremental. And so based on if it's rankable or incremental, we are going to have different strategies for P, A, and I because we're going to be focused on, okay, if it's rankable, what are we doing to get ourselves to the top of page one? What are we doing to sustain ourselves there? Do we need to run deals? Do we need to run more ads? Are we running low on stock? All that kind of stuff is really specific to a rankable product. Now, for incremental products, we're looking at these products and saying, how do we really drill down on advertising in a profit first manner? So, how do we spend money intelligently? How do we convert this product at a level that makes sense? And how do we just get this product moving in a positive fashion? And so that's the way that the pair methodology works, the pair framework works. And I wanted to at least give a good overview so that anyone
That was
who's
great.
listening to this understands it.
No, that was great. Where do where does the product review play, like the ratings play in this framework?
So, generally speaking, reviews are, they don't have a direct impact on your ranking. What
Okay.
they do have a direct impact on is your conversion
Conversion.
rate.
Yeah. Okay. I don't buy products as a user. I don't buy products that have ratings of, I don't know, 3 or lower. I just
Yeah,
don't. Yeah.
yeah. And I think a
Unless
big,
I really know it's good.
yeah, fun fact, there are teeth whitening strips on Amazon that make hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales each month that have a 2.4-star rating the last
Wow.
time I checked. And it's because they have such a big TikTok presence.
Yeah.
If TikTok is doing well for a company, they can almost ignore their Amazon reviews. But generally speaking, a sound review strategy is something that you need. Traditionally, we don't lump it into the pair framework. It's
Gotcha.
something that we almost, the best review strategy is to have a good product. The second best review strategy is to set your business up in a way where you're at least always asking for reviews, so it's an automated thing. And the third best strategy is just begging for reviews from all of your existing customers.
Yeah, and have good customer
Yeah.
service. If something
Yeah.
goes wrong, you don't want to piss off customer. Right? Don't answer.
Hmm.
Like I bought things from sellers where I'm like, hey, this didn't come the way you said it would, and they didn't answer. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go leave a negative review because
Yeah.
and then I had to go cancel. That's just something that's not part of the framework, but you have to do anyways because it's just given. It's just common
Yeah.
sense.
It's table stakes. If you don't
Yeah,
have that, if you don't have a good review framework, it doesn't really matter what you're going to do on the Amazon platform
yeah,
unless you have a really strong non-Amazon game. So I
yeah.
highly recommend you just treat that as its own thing that
Mhm.
you do because it's good for your business.
Sure. You brought up TikTok. Does it help to drive traffic to an Amazon listing from external sources like TikTok and Google Ads, your own website? I've seen website. We have actually had a client that they decided they're gonna have Amazon do all the fulfillment, so they turned the e-commerce website into a catalog. So does that help with their ROI? And since you guys also do SEO with Amazon SEO, if you
Mhm.
drive traffic from external sources to that product.
So, yes. However, the source of the traffic and the intent of the traffic really matters. So in the past, I've worked with companies and we've run Google ads straight to their Amazon products. We've also done things like promote a lightning deal on
Mhm.
something like TikTok. We've worked with companies that really invest heavily in their TikTok
Yeah.
presence. Traditionally, we help companies with TikTok, but we don't get super deep into it the way that some of our customers do. And long story short, if you have a product that's doing well on TikTok or doing well on your website because of TikTok traffic, yes, that performance sent to Amazon will definitely help your listing. We've seen that happen time and time again.
Mhm.
The
But they
the
need to
hard
buy.
part,
The intent needs to be very transactional. We cannot just run a cheap display campaign and drive a lot of traffic just for the sake of driving traffic.
no. And the other thing too is you like an organic post that does really well and sends traffic to TikTok is going to do a lot better than paid ads to Amazon.
Sure.
Amazon can tell if it's a paid ad or if it's organic. And so, generally speaking, sending traffic that is high converting to your Amazon page can help. And even if they don't buy, it can help because
Mhm.
what Amazon is picking up is the fact that a lot of people are coming and searching this product on their platform. That's something that is very interesting to them because it says hey, this company is investing in products or investing in non-Amazon traffic sources and sending it back to Amazon. So from Amazon's perspective, yeah, we should push that product more because we know customers want it.
Yeah,
So that's the way that organic traffic, or sorry, external traffic plays in.
cool. I think you were gonna say something else and I interrupted you. Do you remember what it was? No big deal. We can move
Yeah.
on. Sorry if I did. Just sometimes things I think of things. So let's
Yeah.
just talk about what companies, obviously you answer that. What companies should be investing in Amazon ads? And you did say that if you're a brand, right? You sell your own product. You don't, if you're a reseller, that's probably not going to be worthwhile. What other companies, what are some of the, and what are some of the pros and cons of advertising on Amazon in a high level? If you like, let's say if I'm a D2C e-commerce brand and I don't currently advertise on Amazon, like I'm a CMO of a D2E brand, and I'm trying to see if I need to be on Amazon or not. Because if I had my own product, I would start thinking like, hey, I might just also promote my competitors because when you try to go buy a product on Amazon, it also shows you competitors on the bottom, right? So what are some of the pros and cons? What kind of businesses should consider investing in Amazon Shop and Amazon ads?
Yeah. So if you're selling products on the internet, you can safely assume that people are searching your brand on Amazon. So if you're a Shopify centric or whatever D2C platform, if you're selling on your website, you can assume people are going to Amazon. Now, why? Amazon has all their credit card details already stored. They already have a long track record of providing good customer service and selling them products and delivering them in a timely fashion. People who buy off of Amazon are used to buying products that show up quickly and show up on time every time. Amazon says it should be there in 2 days or less, and then it's there the same day.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that shoppers have come to expect. And so if you're selling products on your website, you should definitely consider selling products on Amazon as well. And if you're going to sell products on Amazon as well, you should at least consider setting yourself up for success. So, setting up your product listings well, setting up a basic store. I'm not very bullish on selling or on stores on Amazon. A lot of other people are,
Yeah.
but and people say you should treat it like a D2C website. But the problem with the Amazon stores is last time I checked, you still can't buy directly. There's still no purchase now on the store. You have to
Yeah.
go to a product detail page, then buy. So
Yeah.
it's an additional conversion step. But I want to give you a quick example. So you would think most major brands have been on Amazon for years, but that is not the case.
Mhm.
COVID really accelerated this. So the brand Magic Spoon has been around for a long time, but at the beginning of COVID, they were not on Amazon still. And I was advertising for a different high fiber cereal, and one of our top keywords was Magic Spoon cereal. So every time that I see a company that's not on Amazon, I'm thinking to myself, yes, what a great opportunity for any of their competitors. Even if you're not advertising, just put your products on Amazon, send some to Amazon FBA so people can buy the shipping they trust. Because whether you like it or not, people are going to Amazon to search for your brand. And if they are an Amazon only shopper, which a big part of the US is, then they're not going to buy off your website no matter how much you hit them with ads. They're going to buy your competitor's product, probably off of your main keyword.
Well, it's interesting you said that because I am a customer of Magic Spoon and I didn't know them until they went on Amazon. And when you said they've been around for a long time, I'm like, really? I thought they were a startup. It's
I
crazy.
mean,
It's
they
crazy
are
how
a startup.
powerful they were. Yeah, I didn't know they were around for a long time. It's
Mhm.
crazy how powerful Amazon is. And if you have a product that you got to be there, and unless you have a good business reason not to, right?
Yeah.
Basically what you're saying.
So here's the thing that really stood out to me. They were advertising on, I think, podcasts and YouTube channels before they were on Amazon. And if I saw that they had advertised on a major podcast of any sort, I would see very quickly a huge spike in Amazon sales that next day.
Yeah.
And every time I just thought to myself, like, Shout out to Magic Spoon for wasting their media dollars on, or not
Yeah.
wasting, but like spending money on media that then didn't convert only on their website, but also set a huge spillover effect to their competitors on Amazon.
Let's talk about that. I know that's something we didn't originally want to talk about. I've had my reservation about those influencer marketing for e-commerce. I've noticed the same thing even with Shopify websites or other type of the normal e-commerce website that they create this buzz in your brand that may or may not convert and then they just vanish. And God knows how much money you spent how much product you give away. And I've been telling a lot of my clients that like if you actually I'm not opposed to influencer marketing for e-commerce, but you gotta do the lower hanging fruits first, SEO, SEM, and in this case, e-commerce, Amazon optimization and ads. And then if you have extra money and you're trying to solve a problem, then you can go to influencer marketing. That's how I think. But I know different bigger companies like Nike that have different divisions so they have a lot of money to throw around, and it's not for them, it's not so linear. What are your thoughts on that?
I hate answering questions with it depends, but it really
Yeah.
does. So I'm going to give you my thoughts because there are a bunch of different circumstances. So you need to think about your product first, and then what platform does it align with the most. So when I'm thinking about a product, is it an innovative product or not? If it's like a run-of-the-mill product that you just customized, then that's probably a little bit better for selling on Amazon. Now, not to say you can't sell innovative products on Amazon, but there's a different playbook. Now, alternatively, if this is the first of its kind to the market, then that's maybe more of a Shopify first product. And Shopify first products that are maybe a little more unique also could really benefit from TikTok or Instagram or meta ads in general. And so if you're going to engage as your primary channel of advertising as either TikTok or Meta, then considering some kind of influencer marketing really makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, further to that point, it depends on what your strategy is. Not every company that I've met over the years is a ads first company. There are some companies that are like founder-led brands where they do a ton of organic traffic and they do a lot of founder talking about the product, founder talking about problems related to the product, that kind of stuff. So those e-commerce brands, they've got a bit of an upside and a bit of a downside. The upside is they have founder-led sales, so the founder shows up and they just talk. Their customer acquisition cost is just the CEO's time. Now, you could argue that the CEO's time is worth a lot, but in the beginning, when you start a e-commerce brand, your e-commerce founder's time is not worth that much. So the founder talking to the camera could be the highest ROI opportunity of anything in the space. If that's the case, then it really does make sense to double down on influencer marketing as well. Because if they've got some kind of proven framework where it's a founder talking to the camera like this about, hey, this is my product, here's why you should love it, here are these major problems it solved, or maybe this is the big problem it solved for me in my life, those are really compelling products that really make sense to also run through an influencer centric approach. So the general idea is it an innovative product or not? Then is it an ads first company or a influencer first company? If it's ads first, then you should test ads with influencers, but you should do so sparingly. You shouldn't invest in huge influencers right away. It's like a product first approach. And then if it's more of an organic first approach instead of an ads first approach, then you want to really think about could an influencer with a big, could a collab with some kind of influencer drive a lot of velocity for this product?
Yeah.
If that makes sense, then yeah, that's a good product for you. So to
Yeah.
answer your initial question and frame it in the Amazon context, should you do influencer marketing? Should you give away products on or to influencers and send the traffic back to Amazon? The question is, what kind of product is it? So that's going to inform the decision. So it's not yes or no binary. It's like maybe depending on which kind of product you're selling.
It was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're running out of time. So let's just where can people learn more about Amazon advertising and optimization. It could be on blog. So just if
Yeah.
there's a couple of sources in SEO, we go to search engine land and SEMrush and Moz. Where do we go for Amazon?
So I am obviously biased here, but I have a YouTube channel that we only launched recently, but we've got
Mhm.
a bunch of videos up there where we're talking about these different things. We
What's the
try to
name of it?
focus,
Is that your name?
yeah, Sean Stone, Amazon, and then
Okay.
yeah, if you search Sean Stone Amazon on YouTube, you'll find me.
Cool.
And so generally speaking, those are the types of tutorials that we think are really cool and interesting. They're not like tutorials with a sales pitch baked into them. It's here's how you do this. Here's how you
Yes.
do
I
that.
like those. I like those.
It's like I decided to make the YouTube channel I wished existed 4 years ago. And so that's something that we're doing that we're really excited about. Helium 10 has a blog that's pretty cool. There's a guy named Brandon Young who also has a big YouTube channel. I really like his stuff. He's really cool. He's really no BS. Big fan of him. I never met him, but
Yeah.
I find that he's a pretty honest guy and I like that. Then the final one I'd recommend is Profitable Pineapple. That's run by this guy named Dr. Travis Ziegler. He is a guy who I've digitally interacted with before, and I think he's really nice. He's always been really kind to me whenever I've digitally communicated with him, and I like his stuff too. So those are three places, not just promote my own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's promote your own stuff. What is the
Yeah.
company name and what kind of services you guys offer?
Yeah. So we're called Stones Goods
Mhm.
and stonesgoods.com, both plural. And you can come work with us if you want to do best in class Amazon ads, really take a profit first approach when looking at your business. And yeah, focus on just doing great things for the brand.
How do
So
you guys
that's who we
charge?
are.
Hourly retainer portion of ad spend?
So we do a fixed monthly retainer until you cross a certain profit threshold. And then after that, we switch to a percentage of profit only.
Gotcha.
So you and I are both as incentivized as possible to maximize your profitability.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it coming here. We should have you again and we can dive in more into the Paraframe network and maybe you can just have a case study of some sort, go through some examples. We as an agency, we deal with a lot of e-commerce. So if there's anybody looking for an Amazon expert, I'll make sure to refer to you. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to subscribe to your channel because I've always been curious about the Amazon system. I've been in and out Amazon throughout my career. So it's good to know an expert face to face. And since you're in San Diego, we should hang out.
Please come on
Awesome.
down. You'll love it
Uh,
here.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. It's Friday today, so have a nice weekend and we'll chat later.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye.